Hello everyone, welcome to Sweaty Casuals, brought to you by the Snowflake Sanctuary Discord server. This is a podcast where we usually talk about the A to Z of the games we love to play, from the state of ranked systems to our thoughts on the newest sensations, and everything in between. My name is Zach, and along with my co-host, Nox, we will be your guide as we traverse ELO Hell. Small reminder, we do swear, so viewer discretion is advised. Today we're joined by TakenTacos again, and we will be discussing the latest cheating fiasco, the difficulties behind removing cheaters, and what some of the wider implications of this habit has been and will be. First off, just want to say we did have another guest lined up. Unfortunately, they had something come up, but we were sending good wishes over their way. Second off, I'm going to shake things up a little bit. I'm not going to go right into our icebreaker today.
Oh, I don't like
know.
change.
I know. I have a reason for that, though. Thoughts. So, we're just going to go recap what happened. It was about a week and a half ago now. On March 17th, the North American finals for the Apex Legends Global Series were being held at a $5 million prize pool, and it was called off abruptly after two players suffered hacks in the middle of the match. The first one was a streamer by the name of Jen Burton. He suddenly had wall hacks enabled and could see everybody. He actually dropped from the match shortly after he realized what was going on, and his team actually managed to still get second somehow. Just damn impressive. The next match, Imperial Hal was also hacked, who had a window pop up that enabled an aimbot. And it also had some odd things in there. So if you actually pause the stream, you can see that it actually, one of the checkboxes says vote Putin.
Hell yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah. Interesting.
That was a joke, by the way.
Yeah, we're now.
Yeah, don't want to get bleeped.
Yeah, we're not voting for. We would uncheck that box. The the hack was allegedly committed by somebody named Destroyer 2009. He claims to have taken he's taken responsibility for it, and he actually did that inside the game chat. And when he was later reached out, somebody was able to finagle an interview with TechCrunch, and he said it was just for fun, and he wanted to force developers at Respawn and EA to actually look at these vulnerabilities. He did not specify how he was able to do it, but he said two things, which was that he did not touch their servers, and he did not have to use anything other than the Apex program itself. He didn't have to touch any other process within the computer.
That's scary.
It's very scary. He also claims to have put his name in the chat specifically and taken credit for it because he doesn't want this to be a mass panic. He doesn't want streamers to, suddenly be accused of cheating. He wanted this to be a, hey, Respawn, you got to go fix your shit. And he also said he doesn't believe anybody else is going to be able to find this exact same exploit before it gets patched. Rumor has it that it's been a remote code execution hack. Gets shortened to RCE a lot. This is a type of hack. This is a type of hack that gets done through web apps and network infrastructures, and it can be as easy as things like code injection. So for anybody who's familiar with SQL or that type of programming, if you don't ban certain characters, you can basically just insert code into a data table and it'll just start running it, which can obviously cause a lot of issues. So one of the common ways to ban that is just banning certain characters so you can't actually execute the code. It was first brought forward by a group called the Anti-Cheat Department, which is a group of volunteers who work on gathering both info about cheats and working to disrupt vendors of it. The implications of RCE cheats or RCE hacks is that basically once there's access, the hacker can do anything. They have full access to your machine. There's nothing stopping them. Ransomware is probably the most common one, and it's actually affected a lot of other games. Probably the biggest ones recently have been GTA Online was hacked or had this type of an exploit patched last year. Dark Souls PvP had it the year before. It was actually down for 9 months because of it. And then CSGO actually had a similar exploit, but it was patched in 2021 before any known uses that I could find. But that may be incorrect. Easy anti-cheat. was the first one to respond to on March 18th to what happened during the Apex tournament, because Apex uses easy anti-cheat. And their exact quote was, "We have investigated recent reports of a potential RCE issue within easy anti-cheat. At this time, we are confident that there's no RCE vulnerability within EAC being exploited. We will continue to work closely with our partners for any follow-up support needed." Epic Games, who I didn't know actually owns Easy Anti-Cheat, also responded separately in an incredibly similar manner. And as a interesting note, that was the first tweet that Easy Anti-Cheat had made since 2019. They've had no reason to say anything else, and they basically just said, "Yep, not our problem." Took an additional day for Respawn to actually comment, and they said, on Sunday, a few professional, and this was tweeted on Tuesday, on Sunday, a few professional Apex Legends player accounts were hacked during an ALGS event. Game and player security are our highest priorities, which is why we paused the competition to address the issues immediately. They have not said anything else otherwise, I believe. Could not find anything, but I might be wrong. Let's get into our icebreaker.
Thank you for that wonderful summary.
I'm trying. What has been your experience with cheaters?
I know for myself, I have had my biggest experience with them in Overwatch, which doesn't have anything like easy anti-cheat kind of monitoring it. It's, from what I've felt, I don't have a ton of knowledge to back this up. It feels like one of the games that's pretty open to cheating. And with Blizzard's unreliable reporting system from time to time, it feels like a lot of those things go unnoticed or unchecked. I think it's been a lot less recently. I remember in Overwatch 1, when I moved to PC, every once in a while you'd see those kill cams, and that Widow is a little too good for my silver lobby. And a lot of those...
He's smurfing.
So
Same
I can't
thing.
say I've had a huge experience, unless you want to count console, in which I was cheating and so was everybody else in the lobby because
Assist.
aim assist is slight cheating. It's legal cheating. So I've been very lucky in that I don't think I've had to face a lot of it, nor have I ever used any. The only time I ever considered using it technically was when I was on PlayStation and I was tired of being bad and I wanted to figure out how to connect a keyboard and mouse to my PlayStation. Then I found out that was very frowned upon, so I bought a PC instead.
I mean, it's still frowned upon, but it's allowed now.
Yeah. It's also super expensive to get that set up. Plus, on a PlayStation, because it can't recognize keyboard and mouse entry as different than a controller, you still get aim assist when you're using keyboard and mouse on a PlayStation.
That's interesting.
Because it recognizes it as it's the
Joystick.
I forget what it's called, but people refer to it as zimming. It's the Zim system. So because of how that reads into your system, it reads it as controller inputs and not keyboard and mouse inputs. So you still get aim assist. But what about you?
I'm probably one of the few people in the server who have been on the other side. When Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out, I played the shit out of it, and I grinded out all the camos and had nothing left to do in multiplayer except enable walls and aim assist. Most fun I've ever had in my life. I did it so much. On the flip side of that, Rainbow Six Siege will be the death of my hairline when it comes to cheaters. Yep. My hair takes the fall before my monitor's in there. Believe
Would
it or
you
not.
say you see them a lot?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Rainbow Six Siege, right, is kind of weird because they do this really, really, really fun thing where the way their releases go is they will announce a new season. And that week that they announce the new season, they do play for free. So for 7 days, you can play Rainbow Six Siege for free. So that means rebuy new accounts, put all the hacks and everything you want on them. Don't worry about getting them banned. You just have fun. You're just there to fuck up other people's lives. Yeah. So it's an ongoing issue with them, and when I played Rainbow Six, we would take that week off. That was like our vacation between each season because we knew we weren't going to climb in rank at all. Other than that, CS:GO, that's a given though. It's a Valve game. Been experiencing cheaters in that game since 2015.
When it
I
came
don't know
out,
if I have any others.
I thought it was older for some reason. Maybe I'm going crazy.
CS:GO?
Yeah.
No, it came out in like 2015.
Was it only 2 years ahead, or 1 year ahead of Overwatch?
It was like a year or two ahead of League. That's how I remember it.
Didn't League come out in like
League's been out for like 25 years. League is older than me, and I stand by that.
You sound like a child going, "How old are you?" "I'm 22. "Oh, you're like 60. My grandpa's that old."
While you're looking that up, my biggest experience with cheaters has been in Overwatch. And Overwatch 1, when it was coming towards an end, like the last like probably year to 6 months was pretty rough. The game wasn't being cared for in general, for a lot of different reasons. But the cheating was pretty blatant. People didn't really care if they got caught because what bad things were really going to happen? The game was literally about to be deleted.
Oh, an Overwatch?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also think a lot of content for creators used to come out of like spectating cheaters in their games or in games that have been submitted to them. I think about Emong and Flats and J3 would make videos on it. It's easy content, whether or not it's great that they were publicizing the fact that people were cheating. Pick your poison. It is what it is. But I've
I
seen a
think
lot
it's good.
less of it.
I
got a
call it good
question for
because
the
I
group.
like I still watch a lot of Flats's when he does spectating cheaters. It's never compliments.
No, and they never talk about it lightly, but I think it's like, yeah, I think there's an argument either way. I think you could also argue that bringing light to these people only makes people want to do it more. They know it's out there now. It's an easy way to climb. I think there's ways to argue it both ways. I think it's better, more good than bad.
Yes and no. I
But
think there was one really good one that Flats did where he was in a lobby with one,
mm-hmm.
and he actually was able, like, that guy got banned on stream,
I remember that one.
and his editor ended up cutting it all in.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So,
But anyway, the point I was going to make was that I've seen those videos a lot less recently.
Yes.
In terms of my subscription feed, they used to feel like they were popping up at least once a week. And this was at the, I would say, tail end of Overwatch 1 heading into Overwatch 2 that you were seeing a lot of these. I think like I said, I watched one maybe a couple of days ago, and it's not the blatant cheating that we were seeing at the end of Overwatch 1. It was more like this was a gold lobby and maybe they had walls kind of thing. Except I think Emong might have just done I like watching the Spinbot ones. Those are just
Those ones are pretty funny.
in the
fucking
Fortnite ones too?
fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Because what the hell?
That was like a running meme on Widow for a while at the end of Overwatch 1.
Well, it's like if you're gonna pick okay, sorry, tangent for a second. If you're gonna pick a fucking cheat to win, and your character is just gonna be spinning like a fucking top, hello? Like that's like, I'm gonna hold up a sign. Hi, I'm cheating. Please ban my account. But then again, maybe they were asking for Blizzard to actually start checking their reports. I don't know.
I get a lot more of those messages now saying, "Thanks for your report. We've taken an action."
I would
She's
agree
kinda
because
nice.
I'm also reporting a lot more on like text chat abuse.
Yeah.
Or voice chat abuse rather than oh, I think they're cheating or I think they're smurfing or whatever it be. I feel like I get one like every other time I log on.
Probably around that.
But I've also been playing a ton, so don't come after me and say that I'm reporting everyone because I'm soft. I might be, but I don't report everyone.
So, real quick,
Yeah.
Counter-Strike came out in 2012 and League of Legends came out in 2009.
So it's like 25 years old.
Okay, you're thinking about never mind.
If that's 25, how old am I, Knox?
Zach, what was PC gaming like in 1998?
I'm not going to be mean.
Go on, I can take it.
52.
So, I'm curious.
Give me a second. I need
It's-
to go update my dating profiles.
Oh, good. So it's 14 years old? No, 15. I can do math.
Yeah.
It's
How
15
much
this year.
how much do you guys think like how much do you think that like I don't know how to explain this. Cheats would cost for a video game?
Are we talking walls or are we talking
Everything, because it usually comes in one like Lua.
Yeah.
are
my
they
understanding
good
is
or
that
are they bad?
They're all usually pretty about the same, but we'll just say they're good.
$800. I bet that's what they go
$800?
for. I
No,
bet
I'm gonna say like $50,
$50?
and even
You're
that
both
might be
wrong.
high.
Both of you are correct and incorrect. Both of you could be correct. Just depends on how long you use them. The cheats I was using, which was the cheapest I could find without catching a virus on my computer, or just cheating like developing a script myself, it was about 15 to $20 a day.
It's a subscription
A
model.
day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a very it's not a necessity. So it's you have to go out and look for them.
I
Mhm.
feel like I've heard some of these things costing hundreds of dollars though to get the
I mean,
software.
long term, yeah, it costs a lot.
I
It
don't know if
costs
I've
a lot.
ever heard of us. I believe you in a subscription, if like especially because you have firsthand
Yeah,
knowledge
software
of it.
is that way.
Which is why I picked and chose when I was gonna like cheat. Like if I was having a really, really bad day, I was like, all right, fine. I'm gonna put my card in and get some of these. But it was expensive. You really had to think about it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I know it's not cheap.
Just remember, when you lose that game because you had a cheater on your team, they're the real losers.
Yeah, imagine paying $20 a day to lose. That's
Right.
crazy.
I know. Imagine having a whole Overwatch team that's in a high school league and you lose every single match.
Hey,
We don't need to get
Bandito's
more
not here
specific.
to defend himself.
But you know damn well he would not be defending himself. He'd be like, "Yeah, you're right. Shit sucks. Can't get shit in Detroit."
Let's recenter for a quick second and just you mentioned it specifically like getting viruses on your computer and people running RCE exploits, like that's a legitimate concern. Anybody who ever opens that application can be exploited. They can have programs installed. You can have
I
ransomware installed.
probably won't play Apex until that's patched.
That was going to be my question. How do you feel about playing Apex?
I won't be. Straight up. I refuse to pay for Norton.
You should. Norton's not good.
You're absolutely right.
You and I both do. It's a little bit of IT, at least. You do
I get
more
it.
than-
I got it for like 40 days free for installing Windows 11.
and then you have to deal with actually removing it.
I know. And that's a virus within itself.
Knox,
Fuckers.
how do you feel about playing Apex right now?
I might be dumb. I might be young, but I don't think I'm the only one that sits here and goes, that won't happen to me. Because it probably won't, but it
Until
could.
it does.
But it could.
It's never
At
you
this
until
point,
it does.
This information that I know and that you summarized genuinely, I would go open Apex right now. So that might make me young and dumb, but
Too
a lot of
wild.
people are gonna be like me too in this. Like they're not gonna see it as this is gonna happen to me. So I think that's also a reason that some of these programs should get on this patching thing because I'm young and dumb.
I mean, I have thoughts on both of those things. I've lost a computer to a virus, so I have no interest in opening Apex at this moment. I don't want to have to go through that again. And
I
granted,
mean,
I
I'm
would.
not going to open Apex at this moment, but that's for different reasons. Like, it's not the cheating scandal that's keeping me from Apex right now.
Is it because you're recording a podcast?
Overwatch has me by the balls again.
That's unfortunate.
I'm glad it's not because you're recording a podcast.
Does your
Look.
boyfriend know?
Does your book boyfriend know?
Look.
He knows about the balls, all right.
Please.
Did that one earn a censor?
Did that entire conversation have one?
Yeah. Canada don't want finding out.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. You think listens to this?
He would if he knew I was on it.
I'll let him know.
We slowed down on sending TikToks, and so have you and I. Like back there, I got a shelf. That's where I put all the TikToks that Nox sends me. If I had them.
Look, I can't help that my For You page is
It's
just
just book
SJM. Like you're not gonna want them, dude. I'll send them to you.
Listen,
you're not gonna
There are
want
plenty
them.
that I've wanted to send you that are like book talks and stuff like that, but it's gotten to a point with these.
Do you get the biker ones?
No, I get the
Yes.
very smut ones. But
don't
there's
know
some
how
of
I
them where I'm
feel
like,
about
that's
that."
really funny. Nox would like that. It's also a little inappropriate to send to someone who's just a friend and the opposite gender.
I appreciate your common sense.
Thanks.
Anyway, Apex. I would play it right now. Especially
crazy.
that's fine.
We all need a little crazy.
Once again, I think it's the kind of the thing of like, I'm not gonna play it. I think I think if I actually sat down and thought it through, I probably wouldn't open the game just because I don't have a necessarily want to play it right now. But I also haven't had anything crazy like that happen to me, so there's that little part in the back of my brain that goes, it's not gonna happen to you. So
It's gonna happen to you.
shut the fuck up.
And it is a little different when you do have it happen to you.
Yeah.
I was very young when it happened, so I wasn't. It was before I started gaming on PC. But I had to use that computer for. I needed one silly program, and I needed that computer for it. So it was like anything that got plugged into that computer, basically I had to consider it destroyed. That was the only computer it could ever be plugged into at any point in the future.
That's why I have the IT boys in the server on call.
I ain't
for my
fixing that.
computer. Y'all tried.
Hey, we got close.
Who knew that
I didn't have my A+
a fucking
yet.
CPU could just not run well because it didn't want to?
And driver order matters. And sometimes you need to reinstall Windows, even though we did a bunch of those things.
And sometimes your
all those
computer is going to do 5 different things that are all strange, and then the tech shop is going to stress test it, and none of that's going to happen, but they're going to magically fix it anyway, even though you've been wrestling with this problem for 3 months. Anyway, for another day.
For another day.
It's kind of a good
Um,
transition, though. There's a term and there's a philosophy. There's a philosophy when you kind of talk about computer security. Taco, I know you're probably familiar with this. You've heard of the protection rings. You're looking like no.
Yes, but I could not explain them to you. I've been told them before.
I went and looked
For
it
sure.
up, so we have an explanation. So
Good.
basically, in most systems, you have 4 or 5 rings, depending on one factor. On the outer ring, you have your application. The application can only access things within the application itself. Within that, you have device drivers. These are some devices, but not all of them. Then you have another level of device drivers. These is much usually lower things like graphics cards. Upper level would be things like keyboard and mouse. The bottom level, you have the kernel. Literally complete and total access to anything and everything within the operating system. Some situations you have a hypervisor. That's only on servers usually. Super technical. But most anti-cheats these days run at the kernel level. And the argument that's been made for that has been, well, we need full access to the computer to understand every program and anything that it's accessing and everything possible that it can access. And we need that in order to keep people from cheating. But it's also how you get situations like this type of an attack. If Apex could only access your keyboard and mouse,
What is there to hack?
there's nothing to hack. So, is there a reason that we can think of that any anti-cheat, any game, should have kernel level access?
So my flip side to that, not that I agree with it, because I honestly I don't, and I'll go into a whole Ubisoft rant if I get into it. Zach, you probably know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
I
Actually,
have a
you might
feeling.
know as well.
I would love to hear it because I actually don't. So please.
Are you thinking about Spore?
No, I was thinking about just the way that their games are laid out currently.
Okay.
So there's a not really a philosophy, but it is definitely something you think about in like Security Plus and stuff like that. And that is that like every action has a reaction. So Twitter and Instagram and Facebook have been battling this for decades. And that is when you figure out a way to beat the hacker, they figure out a way to beat you beating them. So if you figure out a way to use anti-cheat without allowing kernel access, they'll figure out a way. That's how the game goes.
And it always has been and it always will be. I mean,
Yeah.
even so, like, in terms of just general security, one of the things that people will tell you is no matter what any lock you choose, it doesn't matter if it's a padlock or a safe, like a bank safe.
A
Like
lockpicking
physically
lawyer
stuck
will
in the
find
building.
you.
Of course. It doesn't matter what type of lock you have, it is pickable. It just takes time and resources. The bigger, the better it is. All that changes about your situation is how much time and how much resources are required.
But you know what? People have started to find a solution. And I think you're going to see this all come to an end. Or it's not going to be a sudden stop, but it's definitely going to slow down. And that is if companies like Apple and Google and Microsoft keep doing what they're doing, which is anytime someone breaks their operating system, they make them disappear. Not in a bad way. They just they find the person and they go, "Congratulations, you broke our security. Now what we'd like to do is pay you a shitload of money to tell us how you did it and then hire you on to make sure that doesn't happen."
I'd
We've
like
all
to
seen Criminal Minds. That's how What's Her Face got a job.
I haven't seen Criminal Minds.
it's been
She's
a while.
like a main character. What's her name? The eccentric lady.
It's
They
it's
based
been
it
a
off
hot
real
minute.
life.
Sorry.
I
Give me
don't
a
know.
second.
Look up the release date of League while you're there.
Penelope Garcia. It's 2009. It's 14 years old, 15 years old.
What month? I'll give you a salt here,
Fuck
I'll
if
give
I
you a hint.
know. November?
It is definitely the month you would expect it to be.
So the worst month of the year?
I didn't say that.
Hmm.
Ooh, you're
Just if
picking
there was a
fight.
month Overwatch was gonna be, or not Overwatch, if there was a month that League was gonna be released in, it would be that month. That makes sense. I don't know why, but that makes sense.
Your face right now, nice.
I'm trying to decide if this is like a makes sense because it logically does, or if this makes sense that like you know how people are like, oh, like 4 plus
It's an
4 is like
emotional feeling. It's an
blue.
emotional opinion.
You know, like that kind
No,
of
it's not like that. It's just like, where you're
or
like,
like
"Yeah, no,
Wednesday
that."
is 7, you know, the
No, it's not like
vibes.
that. It's
Like
like, well, it might be like that, but maybe it's just I can't look at it from an outside perspective.
yeah, no, yeah, that's the same vibe. League getting released in October, like, yeah, League is
Yeah.
October. Yeah, like,
No, that
yeah.
that totally makes sense. But
Yeah.
you know what? To counter that, that's a astrological thing, you know?
Right.
I don't know what sign is in October. What
It's
sign
a
is it?
s it would that would be a Scorpio at that
Yeah,
point.
okay. League is definitely a Scorpio.
Abusive and carries a lot of emotions.
Absolutely.
That just sounds
That
accurate.
And then
that's
when you piss it off, it
crazy.
goes, "I'm sorry. I'll never
Anyway,
do it again."
in Criminal Minds, there's a character named Penelope Garcia who is the guy in the chair.
The guy in the chair.
Guy in the chair, and she
I got, like,
in the
most of these
show
guys are that guys in the chair.
got got the job because she hacked the what did they work for the FBI?
The
Criminal
CBA.
Minds, CIA?
I don't
They're
remember.
FBI. They work for the FBI. She hacked into the FBI and they're like, "You want a job or do you want to go to jail?" So job it was.
That
And
sounds like
sometimes it
the
works out, but
opening
I mean, at the
episode
same
of
time, you're
Suits.
also assuming that they're going to get caught, which
Yeah.
clearly a lot of them are not.
I mean, Telegram put out a bounty on their own security system because Telegram prides themselves on their message security, and they said anyone who can beat it, we will pay you money and give you a job.
Yes, and I mean, a lot of companies do bounties, but even when they don't, uh, a lot of times, so for example, Google has a bounty program, and I have heard stories where individuals have found a bug, reported it, and then not been rewarded in any way, shape, or form. Google just turns to them and says, "Cool, thanks."
No,
Because
Because
it
there's
is,
nothing contractually obligating them to do anything about it.
see now on the flip side, if you look at like r/jailbreak when that was still a thing, like right before they got really strong on them, people would be like, "Oh yeah, I jailbroke the newest iOS," and then that was the last message they ever posted on that subreddit or Reddit in general. They just disappeared.
Tim Apple's always watching.
Yep. Yep.
Speaking actually of League of Legends,
Ew, why?
I have a really
Settle
interesting
down.
one for you. I want to tell you guys about a monitor. The MSI Meg 321 URX QD OLED. Monitors have such great names these days. Please, somebody at any monitor company, please start rebranding them. We'd actually like to know what the hell we're talking about.
Which is crazy because MSI is usually pretty good about naming.
They're better than some.
Samsung's the
so
worst.
much.
I stand by that.
And LG. This
All
monitor,
right, LG's TVs, they got that down to a point.
yes, not their
That's it.
monitors.
No.
This monitor is a 32-inch OLED.
Wait, what was that?
A lot of
What was the name again?
inches.
It is a lot of inches. It's a 240 hertz
No.
display with FreeSync. It's actually it's
MSI
adaptive
what?
sync.
What's it
Good
called?
lord, I'll message it to you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, is it in the friggin'
Yes.
Yes.
I thought you were
It has
look at that.
HDR 400 support, so
Thanks,
not
guys.
actually HDR, but looks nice. It's got a built-in KVM, so if you can hook up multiple computers to it. It's got full RGB lighting. What else could you want?
Wow.
Not that price tag.
Yeah, it's a very expensive monitor. However, the interesting parts. It has the ability to automatically change your crosshair color dependent on your environment. It has a built-in magnifier that you can activate with a keyboard binding, any shortcut. And they have an AI model that they've used and trained it on for League of Legends. So the LED bar at the bottom will actually match your character's health.
Man, Razer been doing that shit for years.
And yes, but they use an integration. This doesn't. This just uses the direct. This just uses the cable that your display cable. It doesn't need a separate data cable. And it also has the ability to give you an early warning as to when characters are coming from off screen.
You'll know when ganks are coming. I'm gonna let you think on this one real quick.
And it doesn't do it without it does it without a data cable. There's actually no way, even with kernel level access, there's no way to detect that.
I don't need one.
You're looking at that price tag again?
How much is it?
Like, okay, hang on. Let me hit shop.
I want to say it was in the grands.
No, it's under $1,000. It's under 800.
No, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
It's
it might
actually
be worth
not
the
been
money then.
released yet. It might be more. Oh,
I just want the
over
RGB.
$949. But here's the
monthly
catch.
salary.
You ready? You're gonna find a graphics card that can support 32 inches of 4K at 240 hertz.
My 1080 Ti is doing it pretty well.
Yeah, add
Depends on
another
the game.
monitor on that and it gives up.
Yeah, I have a second 32-inch at 4K.
You game on that?
Yeah.
At what refresh rate?
It depends on the game. In Overwatch, I usually only get about 110, 115.
I could never.
My monitor only goes up to 120 on the adaptive sync, so it's close enough for me.
I have G-Sync monitors, and I had a 4K monitor that was G-Sync, and that thing could not keep up with a 1080.
Ti. Gotta get the Ti.
I don't even know if my 2080 might handle it a little bit better now.
I say I would be curious to see how the 30 generation and the 40 generation would do with it. I'm sure the 40s could handle it.
The 4090 will do it, no problem.
Well, that's the best card out there. Of course it'll handle it.
Yeah, that was a safe bet.
But like, I wonder, like, I have a 3060 period, no TI. Because I bought my graphics card when they were expensive. Does it matter how much memory is on your graphics card too?
It can. So the other thing to factor in though is like there's native and then there's DLSS now, which does make it a lot more complicated. I don't have the option to play around with it, but Taco, I think you'd be able to. Nox, you should definitely be able to. Where just is basically where it'll render a smaller image size and then use AI upscaling. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, but if I'm spending $1,000 on a monitor, I want native.
You say that, and a lot of times it actually it seems there's been some situations where people have been like, I'd rather get the actual native 240 rather than get 200.
Oh yeah.
So just shout out to when I was playing Overwatch with 60 frames per second. How did I do it?
With a lot of smears.
That shit sucked.
Oh yeah, no. When was the first one in our friend group to get a monitor more than 60 FPS or 60 hertz. And I'll never forget the day we were playing Siege, and he's holding this angle for the longest time, and then he just goes pop and wins the game or wins the round, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I realized I was watching him in half the frames he was seeing. So for one frame he saw ahead, and for two I saw nobody. And I was like, that's how math works. That's yeah.
Well, I also, when I got my PC, I was playing. So my PC was my first one was bought off of Facebook Marketplace from some very nice person in Texas who gave me a very good deal for $400. But that being said, I then went the cheapest option possible for peripherals because I just spent $400 on a PC from Texas. So the monitors I used, one of them, my main monitor is actually my second monitor now, came up from my boyfriend's dad's basement from his old computer. My second monitor, when I first got my PC, did not have an HDMI port. I had to buy a VGA adapter to get a second monitor. So when I got my 24-inch curved monitor that can do 144 hertz, crazy.
Mind blowing.
Correct.
I've got something really
Anyway.
stupid. Just remind me about your monitors when we do real world,
Okay.
because I gotta go dig it out real quick.
Okay. That being said, I don't think I have $1,000 to spend on a monitor. Low key sounds sick though. Would love to see it in use.
Do you think it'd be ethical to use it while playing League?
No, but I would.
Absolutely.
Because it's League?
Well, what anti-cheat system's gonna pick that up? Like, not to play devil's advocate, but like
At a kernel level, all of them.
No, because it's not
it's an
detected.
HDMI cord.
It don't matter.
Display port.
There's
Is it
nothing.
It's not a software.
Is it G-Sync compatible?
Yeah, but that
And the
G-Sync
graphics
doesn't-
card knows what's plugged into it.
Yes, it knows what device is plugged in, so you
Right.
could ban the device, but you could also spoof
Exactly.
device ID.
So
And you
League
can
is
do
just
that
gonna
within
say
Windows.
if you have this
See,
monitor,
this
you're
goes
not
back
allowed
to
to
the
play.
whole you win some, I win some. That's how they would ban. That's how they would keep people from using it, and then the people who know how to spoof would just spoof. To be fair, people who are spending $900 on a monitor probably will know how to spoof a device ID. But there are people out there that will buy it because, ooh, it's the best monitor, and my friend told me to get it because they don't have any money. Because I'm that guy. That's why some of my friends have a Samsung Odyssey. He asked me if the Odyssey was a good monitor, and I said, if you like breaking your neck to look edge to edge.
Wow.
And now he owns one.
Curved ultrawides are definitely a whole thing that we could probably do a whole episode on.
I think
I
they're
don't-
overrated.
Yeah, it depends on the use case. I have seen some people who have
Gaming?
really good.
Unless you're doing simulation, it's not worth it.
Yeah, that's the use case.
My problem is
Um,
you have to give up being able to use multiple monitors. You don't have to, but you
I've seen
run out
some
of desk
setups that
space.
do work with it. It's kind of weird because it's usually one on
Above.
top
I
of
put
the
it
other.
vertical.
Yeah.
I put it
Yeah.
vertical like a big old slot.
I've seen
machine
people who do
all
that,
would
and that
be
just scares me.
hot all the time.
I'm
You'd
just
see-
waiting
you'd
for it
see
to
me
fall.
in my room. I'd be mid Overwatch game, and you'd hear, "Go go 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 go!" Fucking banging on that monitor trying to get the hit.
I could see the
Look.
Farah.
No, you would just you would hear "Buffalo" is what you would hear.
No, I would agree. I know I'm not super into the ultra wides, but curved monitors I like. I'm a big
Small
fan
curve
of
is fine.
those.
It's just the ultra wide curves they can be a bit aggressive.
I know mine. I remember seeing someone on Reddit somewhere. I don't know if this is a popular opinion or a hot take that they had. My monitor, I believe, is only 24 inches.
Mhm.
So it's a fairly small gaming monitor, but it's curved. And to be
Wait,
so
why are you
honest,
so small? I got 27.
well, 24 is 3 inches smaller. And according to some men, that's a lot.
Go on.
You said it.
Oh, you threw that one up right for me. Thank you.
At least you hit it better than your last season.
That's a low blow. That's a low blow.
Damn! Tacos in
I'm
here
a-
bringing back Nom.
I didn't even hit the pitcher. Please.
It still adds up.
Fuck, what was I talking about? Okay,
I don't-
my monitor.
Small inches.
Yeah. To be honest, I couldn't tell you. Like, if I was just looking at my monitor straight on, like I am right now, like I can't tell that it's curved. But it's cool that I have it. I'm sure the bigger you get, the more you can tell it's curved.
We may have to take
Tyler,
an
stop
intermission. My brain is in the wrong spot.
Clearly,
laughing.
Sometimes when you look at it, you can't even tell it's curved.
we're talking about cheating today.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah, and Nox is on curved.
Thanks for saving
Doing
me
your
one.
job for you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
This is the most I've laughed during an episode. Jesus Christ.
I
It's
know,
good.
man. Dino's not here to carry me.
Cheaters.
Okay. Yeah.
The
I would
landscape
buy
of
that
business-
monitor. Sounds cool. I like
I
RGB.
would love to see like Linus break it down to see how it works.
Yes.
I-
I would
it's
agree.
an AI model, so I mean, it's one of those that I don't think anybody can really.
Yeah, but how the fuck does it predict what's coming onto the screen? That's the part I have no idea.
It's
I
got
don't
the
either.
cheats already installed. They just don't tell you.
It doesn't sound to me like it's like a hey, like it knows like way off. It seems like it's like, is they're about to enter? It pops up a little icon being like, yep, they're right there.
But even in League, that split second of knowing if someone's coming out of the grass can be the difference between your team winning or losing
Only
in
it's
our league
coming out of the
game.
grass. I think it's whatever. That still doesn't make any sense to me.
I'll send you the article because it's an interesting read. And actually, I think I heard about it from Linus Tech Tips originally.
It's got to be something on like the way that it reads. There has to be some sort of communication back and forth, whether it's
Between the
through HDMI or
application and
something.
the yeah.
My understanding
gotta
is
be
it's
something.
completely local.
I don't. Well, maybe, but like there's got to be some sort of 3D rendering where it's predicting that.
Something
know?
like that.
It has to be. Like in Overwatch, that would like I could see that being a thing, especially pointing out where people are. Like one, because there's a lot of movement on your screen. So if the AI can actually detect other heroes that you're playing against and then predict where they went off screen and then where they can come back because of how Overwatch saves and how it renders it as one big thing.
Mhm.
That's how I could see it being a thing. I could also see it being a bigger thing for games that are PvE, like Destiny 2 and Call of Duty Zombies.
Mm-hmm. It also makes you curious though, because like, this is the thing being put into a monitor.
I see it being banned for Pro League of any game.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like when
But
Dodge
how do you
came out with the Hellcat.
But also, like, in some cases, how do you stop people?
Well, Pro League is different because you would be in person.
You say
But
that.
they already have a set gear that you come in and you use. They have their own
Depends on the
computers,
league.
their own monitors.
Depends on the league.
It does depend on the league.
So Paradox has been on the show. I know a lot of events they provide the equipment, but there have
usually
been
they
some.
use their own anti-cheat as well.
Again, depends on the game, depends on the league.
I mean, for $5 million.
Clearly, it wasn't enough.
Or it was a problem with the game, which is what it sounds like it was. It had nothing to do with the anti-cheat and everything to do with Apex.
In this case, yes. And Apex needs to, like, whatever this exploit is, it needs to get patched.
Because in my mind,
It's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them long term.
playing
Yeah.
online video
Even
games,
if it gets fixed tomorrow, it's going to hurt them.
Well, especially with something like this, where Overwatch, if you see, so I know we talked about Overwatch and cheating. I know Tyler had a few other examples, but with it being Overwatch, those cheats are entering the game and being played by other people, but they're not affecting your system. So the fact that the Apex problem that they're having right now can affect others with the RCE, like that's going to be the biggest detriment to them. It's not the fact that they have cheaters on their platform that are getting through the anti-cheat. It's the fact that this can now be a security risk for everyone playing.
And if we
I think it opens it to all video games Because the idea that I have, and I could be totally wrong about this because I'm a hardware guy, not a software guy, but from how it looks to me, is they're getting in through whatever lack of security there is between the Apex servers and client computers, and they're getting in and they're installing hacks into the actual root folder of the game and having the application open it. That's the only logical way I could see them doing that.
I don't think it's as simple as a packet injection. I feel like if it was a packet injection, it probably would have been caught. I have a feeling
Unless
that
they
it's
were just
actually
being lazy with their online security.
I don't the fact that only one person seems to have discovered this exploit and actually used it, if that remains true, which, you know, we may never know. But if that is true and remains true, I don't think it's lackadaisical. I think it's just a case of this guy got real lucky and found something before no one else did and decided to do something big about it.
Or
Yeah,
he
not
has
much bigger.
morals and he's known about it and people have known about it for a while. It's just nothing publicly has come out about it. And he was like, you know what? This isn't right.
Yep. Which is also possible. I do think it calls a little bit into question, if this is built into the source engine. Apex runs on, I'm not going to remember the name of it.
Frostbite.
Is it Frostbite? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
it probably is Frostbite.
It's Respawn, so I'd assume so.
If it's EA, it's Frostbite.
And I don't think that, I'm trying to think, what is Frostbite used for? It's used for Battlefield, isn't it?
Battlefield, Battlefront, literally almost every what is that game called? The one where you're in the giant flying.
I was going to
monsters.
mention Battlefront, but I'm like, who the heck plays Battlefront anymore?
The one where you're what?
A lot of people, since it got remastered and brought back to PC.
That one's not them.
No, you're right. That was before Frostbite. But what was the other game?
The remastered one, for anybody who's curious, is Aspire remastered the original Battlefront, Battlefront 2. Just had its own controversy for a whole bunch of different reasons.
We're getting rid of Apex.
I know there's at least one big one.
Oh, that's not good.
Please share.
It uses Unreal.
Oh, really?
Unreal 4, though.
Okay, so a little bit older, but
Still a solid engine. It's a tried and tested engine, or tried and true engine.
and Epic Games has already come out and said that it wasn't any issue on EAC's part. I'm hoping that it would include their part as well. I do believe if I had to guess, I would say that part of it is correct, because even though I don't believe it's a straight packet injection, I do believe it has something to do with their servers, because it'd be really, really hard to figure out who was who unless you were in the communications somehow. Or could at least talk to the server in some way, shape, or form. Even if you're not directly accessing it. Like, you're not going into the programs of the server, but you're asking it and saying, hey, what games you got going on? Who's in them? Something along those lines. I'm not super familiar with how server-side code works for a lot of games. I've got very, 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 very rudimentary understanding.
This gets a little bit above my pay grade and what I know.
It's hard to talk about, because even if we knew exactly what was being exploited, none of us, I shouldn't say that. Taco, you and I programmed to some extent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But neither of us do game programming. At least I don't think so. I mean, I played around with Unreal, I think, once. I didn't get very far.
I don't know,
That's
but in looking up
Yes.
list of games that are on Unreal 4, I found a game that I'm gonna try later called Ship Graveyard Simulator 2.
Let me know how that one is.
So some games that I see on here that could already cause problems if it is a problem with the engine: Payday 3, Mortal Kombat 1.
The remaster?
No, the new.
Oh,
Well,
the newest one?
no, the
Okay.
newest one. Yeah. Jedi Survivor. Oh no, Jedi Survivor ain't multiplayer. I'm looking at multiplayer games.
Yeah. And
I
just
mean,
to be clear, we're not saying that it's definitely the engine. We're just saying that
no.
there is that.
Talking about all the possibilities.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake. Oh my
While we're
god.
talking about it, there is always the chance that
What are we
easy-
gonna do?
While we're talking about it, there is also the possibility that Easy Anti-Cheat is wrong or lied.
Yeah, any one of these tweets that came out could have been PR.
Yep.
Because
They're
no one
probably-
can prove
oh,
anything
yeah.
at this point.
Mhm.
Until the guy who hacked these streamers comes out and said, I did A, B, and C to this, and this is where their fault lines are.
Or he
And
just
you
says it's
can't-
been patched.
Yep, like until any of that happens, everyone can say whatever they want because nobody knows.
Mhm.
EA could say it, Respawn can say it, the end people who create the engine can say it, Easy Anti-Cheat can say it. Anyone can say anything right now to save their ass because this was a hack done on the biggest stage on one of the biggest games right now. People know about it and people are going to be scared because of it. You don't want to come out right now and say, yep, that was us.
See,
Whoops.
the problem with everyone saying no, I'm Spartacus, is that you're dealing with the gaming community and they'll burn everyone. The gaming community is very much okay. Y'all want to be Spartacus? Okay, we'll put y'all down. GameStop, for example.
Good Lord.
It's
Also,
true. I think the gaming community is one of the scariest communities because it is one of the few communities that brings everyone together of all walks of life. And it lets you to
Vibes.
get all that out.
got an additional question for you, specifically because you have actually cheated or used cheats in the past.
Listen here.
Call them out.
Go ahead.
Would you do it again?
Depends on the game. A game I respected, absolutely not. Overwatch is getting there though.
Please.
Actually, you know what? With their last release that they did, or their last like press release, there's respect. Respect has been gained with them. Did you
That's a
not see
hot
that?
take.
Yeah,
That's a hot take.
That's a hot take.
All right. I'm a casual Overwatch player. There's a lot of stuff on there that I'm like, this is kind of mid, but
You're not a sweaty
respect.
casual?
Look,
No.
in terms of Overwatch and my
Today,
quick
I
two
barely
cents
broke a
on
sweat.
what's going on with that, they have my respect in the fact that they've tried to communicate more, and I think that they are genuinely trying to balance the game. I think they're bad at it, but I think they're trying, which is more
think
than they were
anyone's good.
doing. The lying about PvE and the lying for the first few months of Overwatch 2 is going to forever it's like the other things in their history. It just tarnishes my view of them because
Save that discussion.
okay. I think they lie.
Honestly,
think
I'm
they
just
don't
happy that they're
don't
they're
like it.
remaking Dorado. That's all I want. They alluded
can
to it. They
we-
didn't say yes. They learned their
don't-
lesson with PvE.
You don't like walking out first and having high ground on
Every
side?
single side.
We taught them. Did you hear how surprised we were tonight? Real quick, off topic, because we played against one of the guys. He coaches a high school esports team, and he wanted us to play against him, so we did. they picked Dorado, and we were attacking first, and the audible when we rounded that corner and went, "Where are they? Oh, they're not up
low
top."
ground.
Yeah,
They're all
Mira literally
standing on
goes, "What are
cart.
they doing on the
They
ground?"
were on cart. They were around the choke.
Yeah, they
They
were
were
waiting
under the
for us to
bridge?
bring.
Yeah.
Yes, they were waiting for us to bring it through the arch, and we were.
Okay, I'm gonna be
We
so
almost got
honest. I
thrown
feel
off.
like that is a reflection on, I won't name because I don't want to absolutely destroy him. That sounds
It's
like an error on
Bandito's
the
fault.
coach. Yep.
Not the only error. There were a few.
Bandito wasn't
Uh,
coaching them; they were doing their own thing.
They were doing their own
Oh,
thing. He
okay.
was not in
That's
comms.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
was
if he's
watching.
in comms and let him do
No,
that, let them do that. Are
no,
you
the whole
kidding
point of
me?
today was to watch them burn and see how hot they burn. And
And it
boy,
was
did they
pretty
burn
bad.
hot and fast.
Yeah,
We had
another
one.
off-topic thing. I was telling this to Zach before we recorded. I wanted to join, but I had my master's class tonight, and I was in class and I clicked on Discord because I had to message Zach about something for the recording tonight. But I saw that Tyler was streaming when they were doing their scrims, and I hovered over it to see the preview of what it was, and I was like, I wonder what he's playing. Like, I wonder how hard they're trying. I scroll over it, he's playing Genji, and I went, oh, that's the kind of night we're having.
Let's play Genji.
Sorry, I just shit on your Genji. Sorry if you had pride in it.
No, do you know why I was playing Genji?
Because you guys were taking a wheel and deciding what you guys were going to play off of the
We
We
wheel.
were done with the wheel at that point. Bandito came into our call and goes, "So do you guys want to skip the wheel this time?" And we're like, "Okay." And he goes, "I'm just gonna tell you who they're playing, and you can mirror them."
That was the
And only
only match-
one person on their team realized we were mirroring them.
Hmm.
And so I
It was
got
also
stuck
the
with
only
Genji.
match that they came
Look.
close to.
They're 16 to 7.
Yeah,
They're
they
15 to
all
18-year-old boys. Their prefrontal cortex has not quite
No,
developed yet.
they learned that. We kicked them in their prefrontal cortex. Because they were about to win, and Bandito hopped in the call again, and he goes, "Smear them. End it now. Forget the whole mirror thing. End them because they're talking shit." And all I did was swap to Reaper, and everyone was like, "Okay, well, if they want to talk shit, we're gonna try now." And so me doing a little bit more damage and us being a little bit more fired up, we with like what 30 seconds left on the clock, went back to point, took it back in like 10 seconds, and ended the game.
Good shit.
Yeah. No, it wasn't 30 seconds because they were already in OT. Because we were at
Yeah.
99.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wish I was there to see it
Next time.
next time.
Yeah. I played Torb though. I played Torb on what's that called?
It's one of the new Flashpoint.
I played
maps
Torb on
in
Flashpoint.
India. I'm not gonna
That's
remember the name.
crazy.
Right? And I whooped his ass. I was having so much fun as Torb. Because I was like, I'm just gonna throw the. I didn't even use my turret.
I think
just threw it on point.
we're gloating a little too much for its mean now because I think they were bad.
Oh, it was mean.
This was a
until it
bronze
wasn't.
lobby playing against a plat lobby.
I'm silver in tank, and I didn't even play tank.
I'm giving you a compliment, Tyler. Take it.
I'm not taking the compliment. It was
Okay.
literally stealing candy from a baby.
Okay.
Anyway, wrapping up our topic. How do you guys like to deal with cheaters in games?
GG, go next. Report them. That's all you can do.
Beat them
If you can.
if you find their IP.
No, we don't recommend that.
Just ruin their whole day.
I didn't say I would. No death
More
threats
than their
here,
day.
Zach. No here, just allusions to them.
Nah, I'm kidding. Bleep that, please.
I'm gonna.
You might as well do this one too, since they're next to each other. No.
No, please stop. Don't give me
I don't
enough
carry
work
out
to
the
do.
kill. I tell you to do it yourself.
Good lord.
Just for everybody else's.
Oh my god!
For everyone
I had my
else's
eyes closed, my
knowledge,
dog barked.
before this
No, you're just
podcast
gonna have to
started,
play it.
Knox stated that she was very happy to have won out and had the most bleeps in an episode, and Tyler immediately said, "I can beat that."
Is that a challenge?
We'll have to see when we're done here today.
I know I already got one. I did it myself.
That doesn't count.
You're right. Doesn't count.
I think it depends on the game. Some things are really hard. I have actually run into a cheater in Apex. Apex is hard to tell because there's no kill cam,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes like it's pretty blatant.
Or you're
Yeah,
just
something-
down in 2 seconds.
Well, especially when
played-
they're using something stupid and hitting all headshots, you know. Oh my gosh, they walked around the corner with a Spitfire and got all headshots.
Ding 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 ding.
Well, it's like Fortnite that you don't experience a lot of hackers or a lot of cheaters until you get into the cash cups. When I'd play cash cups, you get them all the time. And it's the dumbest fucking cheats because what they'll do is it'll be one person that goes into like a trios cash cup and they have 3 separate accounts, 2 of which are just mimicking what the one account is doing. Which you would think is like, oh, not that big of a deal until you have 3 people always aiming at one person every single time. And you lose 99% of the time. And that's why the cash cups became kind of a scam and a lot of people don't play them anymore. It's just cheaters.
It's
I think
sad.
it is. I think we're a little lucky with Overwatch because
It's
Overwatch
shit.
has some tools to deal with
Yeah,
it.
that's true too.
You know, Widow, we mentioned that Widow gets a lot of hackers because she's a one-hit character. All you have to do is hit one shot. But on the flip side, that doesn't work against tanks. So I know in Overwatch 1 in particular, cheater got called. I play tank, that's my job. I go stand in her way. I go make sure that at the very least she's not getting value. And I know a lot of other games you don't have it. Apex you don't. I think if anything could be learned, like it would be nice if we had more tools like that.
I'd agree.
I do also like to hear, you know, we always mention Emong and Flats and all those folks. CarQ. I always like it to hear, like, you know, at least it used to be in the higher level lobbies. If there was a cheater on a team, they just kind of agree to draw whenever they could. I don't think it's maintained that, unfortunately, but I always did
On
like to hear
Overwatch?
that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At higher levels, they used to have a pact where there's like an unspoken rule where if a lobby found out that someone was cheating, that they would draw the match so that nobody lost any SR and the cheater didn't gain anything from it. It's like
Makes
the
sense.
Bronze Pact, where at least one person has to die from the Diva Bomb. It just has to happen, you know?
Yeah. Or Caramel's curse.
Tyre always goes to Caramel. Don't stand by
Yeah,
her.
always goes to Caramel. She almost quit today because of that.
We know
Well-
Jack, I see that smile.
Well, as we wrap up our discussion on Apex and cheating and everything else that we talked about today, because that was the most all over I think we've ever been in an episode.
Oh, for sure.
Sorry.
We will now transition to our closing segment where we talk about our real life. We call it the real world. This could be books we're reading, TV shows we're watching, music we're listening to. Zach looks like he's going to say something.
Step away for 3 seconds.
Oh, my lord. Now we
Sorry.
have our first absence.
Give our intro.
So the real world, pretty much anything that's going on in our lives that isn't always related to video games. Usually I'd send it to Zach to kick it off, but he's not here.
I'll kick it off.
Go for it, Taco.
What have I been doing in life? Advice, travel. If there's a place you want to go to, do it. Put the money away. Go there. Also do your taxes.
Heard.
This is coming out before April, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. Do your taxes.
I went and did
Zach?
some taxes earlier. Oh, you want me to go first?
Well, you're
You're going
second now.
Oh, second. Sorry.
Sorry.
That'd be great. No, you're good. Your thing about monitors reminded me of something cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it again recently. I didn't know I still had one. So back in 2012, I had a 2011 MacBook Pro, and I got tasked with something really bizarre and odd. I needed to hook up 3 projectors to it.
Okay.
The only output on it is a mini DisplayPort. There's no
Gross.
other plug. How do you do it?
You buy an adapter.
No, there's no adapter because it needs to be 3 different outputs.
You buy an adapter that has a splitter.
Nope.
All right, that's all I got.
You need like some sort of encoder.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
I don't
I was
know. Why don't you
expecting
tell
you
us
to
what's
say-
in the box?
I was expecting you to say eGPU.
A what?
An eGPU?
An eGPU?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's a box. It's literally like a box, and you plug it in usually over Thunderbolt, and then you can put a GPU in it.
Does that
Just
work with the
runs
M
outside your
series?
computer. It runs with any processor. I mean, you can run it basically on anything. Those didn't exist yet, though, because Thunderbolt 1 was only out, if I recall. I don't think Thunderbolt 2 even had come out.
Yak.
Nope. You get an external graphics card. It plugs in over USB 2,
How is it that storage got smaller but graphics cards got bigger?
and it's got a VGA output.
Oh, gross.
DVI? DVI.
That is DVI.
Yeah. What a
Knox,
time.
should I flame you on the podcast or off the podcast?
Go for it.
Me?
Do you know the difference between DVI and VGA?
Look, I might have misspoke earlier. It was a DVI port, not a VGA.
It is a DVI, but you went, yeah, it's you agreed. You're like, yeah, it's a DVI. I was just wondering if you could tell.
You know the difference between DVI-I and DVI-D?
No.
Okay, now we don't need to make fun of me. I
How big it
misspoke
is?
earlier.
You called me 52, okay?
Now I'm turning 30.
We played that for him when he turned 30.
I know. And every time it plays, I think of Zach.
I also think of Zach.
And the crippling loneliness that will follow for me when I eventually turn 30. I turned 25 this year. I'm getting close. I'm halfway there.
Oh my god, we're the same age right now. That's so crazy. I can't believe we just became friends. Anyway.
What do you got going on in your life, Knox?
What book are you reading?
I took a vacation last week. I mentioned that I was going to an undisclosed location. I was in Florida. And so I was in Florida for 5-ish days. Sitting by a pool, I read 1,700 pages in my 5 days there, which amounted to 2.75 books. I finished every SJM book that has been released. They're done. I read them all. And it kills me more than anything to report back to you all that out of the 16 books that I read by her, the most recent one did not cook. She did not cook. I was really sad about it and really angry. My boyfriend has heard a lot about it. I saw him for the first time 2 nights ago since I'd been on vacation. And I had texted him, but like, there's so much there. You can't text the entire feelings. He got an hour lecture from me about why this book was bad.
That's why I haven't heard from in a while.
Yeah,
He's
I've just
mentally drained.
Because I had to explain to him the entire process or plot of this book. Don't continue to read it. I think it still has important implications, and I'm hopeful for what comes next, but I was not a fan of that book. That being said, I also read Once Upon a Broken Heart. It was very cute. It was very wonderful. I liked that one. Quick read. It's a YA. And then I also finally read Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I love that shit. I finished it this morning. I'm in love with those characters, but they hate each other. I should keep talking. Read the book. It's good. I've been reading a lot, but that's all I've got.
Well, we got one little announcement. This is going to be our last episode for season 1.
Yay, we did it!
We did it.
What?
We did it, Reddit!
I made it to
season
the
1!
season finale.
Yeah,
Yes, you did.
you're still living. That's crazy.
I
I thought you would have been a season 1 death, but that's okay.
Maybe next season.
Almost was.
We're going to be taking a short break.
Go ahead, do your outro.
Maybe you won't make it through the mid-season.
Season 2, it's all right.
We're going to be taking a short break, so we're not going to be releasing an episode next week. We will be taking a quick look and revising some stuff on our end. Hopefully have some new stuff for you all.
We're gonna look really pretty when we come back. We've
Yes,
got new stuff.
Nox has seen some of our asset stuff that's been created and is very, very excited.
I'm just
Working
glad
hard
there's
on
people
that.
more talented than me, Zach, working on things in Adobe that I don't know how to do. I
know.
just show up and he's like, "Tell me everything wrong with it," and I go,
Well, yeah.
huh?
I work in the film industry. Literally, this is my job. This is what I did. Tell me how to fix it. And eventually something actually works.
Yeah, it fits that you would sip on a McCafe cup right after saying that.
I've been sipping on it all.
But you were specifically like, I just show up and he just goes, "What's wrong with it?"
So we won't see you next week, but we will be back. Should be back the week after.
I'm getting flamed.
We'll wrap it up before Nox keels over. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for being. Hope you enjoyed our discussion today. We release these episodes usually bi-weekly, but we'll be skipping weekly. But you will be skipping next week. We'll see you the week after. If that's not often enough for you, we're always available in the Snowflake Sanctuary Discord. If you want to offer your own insights, you have your own ideas for what you want to hear, or you think we just sound like a cool group of people, click the link down in the doobly-doo. TakenTacos, thanks again for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone else for listening, and we hope to see you in the next one. Bye.
This has been Sweaty Casuals reminding you that. Have fun, guys!
You did not. You ass.